Welcome back. Over the past 2 years, the profile of our small and microfinance sector has slowly increased. Now given a lot more attention considering their economic contribution, a leading regional player in this sector is hoping to replicate their success in Samoa and Tonga here. South Pacific Business Development opened its doors here last week with the simple aim to try and help poor and rural families, especially our women, access unsecured credit and savings facilities. Reporter Viti Levu spoke to SPBD founder Greg Casagrande on why Fiji and particularly why now.
We started off with limited financing at the very beginning. We are purely a private initiative, initially funded by me. And after about 15 to 18 months or so, we found that a lot of the international development literature was indeed correct, that a dollar invested into a woman tends to yield a bigger developmental impact on the family than a dollar invested into a gentleman. Now that's just a general rule. It's not all men are inferior to women. But nonetheless, men tend to spend some of their money on beer or liquor or cigarettes or some other unproductive things. Whereas women will generally consistently invest in the family. And that's what we were most interested in. But our program does, we're there to help the entire family. And so men do greatly benefit from our program. We have many women who their first employee is their husband or their eldest son. We have many women who've got multiple lines of businesses. Some of those businesses may be run by a husband or by a son. But for us, the point of contact into the family is the woman. They're all very simple businesses for which there is some local demand and local need and for which they have a degree of expertise. So, for example, there are a lot of agricultural businesses, there are livestock businesses such as chicken farms, cow farms, pig farms. There are lots of food processing businesses, roadside stands, catering businesses. There's sewing businesses, handicraft making businesses, people who put together potted plants and put them into office buildings, people who have taxi operators, fishing vending businesses. So a wide variety of simple businesses for which the women have a basic understanding, and what they need is some financing and some ongoing guidance, and that's where we help. In the Pacific Island community, traditionally there are not an extraordinary number of formally waged jobs. And so a woman may be a very bright woman and she may be exceptionally fortunate and graduate from secondary school, but even then, most of those women do not have access to a formal wage job. And as a result, they need to, there's no obvious path for creating a sustainable livelihood for themselves. And so in Pacific communities, quite often that's more than half of the population don't have access to the formal wage job. And so they need to create some sort of sustainable livelihood, and that's where we come in to help. We want to provide them the financing and the guidance and the motivation and the training to make sure that they can pursue their life's ambitions and be all that they can be. So we provide two types of training. We provide training up front, so just prior to them becoming a SPBD client. So we provide 2 weeks of small business training. You could think of it as a very basic MBA course that is boiled down to a relatively simple level to help them understand the various things that they need to know in order to start and grow a micro business. Then we have weekly meetings in each village. And so we will say, okay, maybe in a typical village we'll be working with 20 women. And we'll say, okay, every Tuesday at 2 o'clock in this home here, in this hut here, we're going to have a meeting. And so during that 1 hour long meeting, we conduct the business. And part of that is ongoing training. And so we'll have a very small little training session about one particular point of business. And the idea is to cultivate a good discussion amongst all the women, because together they are really best able to solve one another's needs. And so that's part of the ongoing training and guidance function that we provide.
What are some of the common issues that are normally raised during those weekly meetings?
There's a variety of issues with regards to, they come back to basic things like customer service and how to handle people who are asking for credit as opposed to wanting to make payments, finding different sources of supply for goods that may be less expensive, about sharing responsibilities for distributing product for one another instead of everybody going down to a marketplace, for example, in Apia, which may be a whole day's bus ride away. One woman could take multiple women's products, and somebody says, I'll do it on Tuesday and Wednesday, and somebody else says, I'll do it Thursday and Friday, instead of all having to go separately. So ways to collaborate more efficiently. ideas about pricing so they can talk to one another about who the competition is in various places and give ideas that, hey, you know what, you really underprice your product. You should consider adding it. Or another idea is just diversifying the type of product and specializing in a very, so that you're differentiating your product from that of other people. So people say, gee whiz, I find your product to be really interesting, it's differentiated, and people will want it. So for example, in Samoa, taro is a very basic staple product, but there are some more exotic fruits and vegetables that are very healthy that could be grown in Samoa, for example, like an avocado. And you don't see them as much in the marketplace. And so if you grow those, you will get there's very little competition for those products, and you can get a much better price for them. So we have a lot of women who have grown the size of their business substantially and who have done quite successfully, and other women who have sort of created these small business empires where they have opened multiple lines of businesses. They may have a store, they may have a pig farm, they may have an agricultural aspect to it, they may have a little restaurant. We have women who have got beach volley operators, which is sort of budget backpacker style accommodations. Many of those women are very successful and run multiple lines of business, which all sort of feed into one another.
Okay. Fiji, what prompted the move to Fiji?
Well, we've had tremendous success in Samoa and tremendous success in Tonga, and it's time now to go to a much larger nation, and to a nation where I think there's tremendous opportunity for the organization and a tremendous opportunity to change thousands and thousands of lives, especially in the rural sector, to empower women to follow their dreams and to be all that they aspire to be. So we've sort of proven ourselves in 2 smaller markets, and now we are ready to take a step up to what is a significantly larger market. And we've assembled a great team, and we've begun our initial outreach, and I'm quite excited that we will be very successful here in Fiji.